What if, instead of a normal vacation, you went on a Cold War tour? No beaches, no resorts, just global tension, nuclear strategy, presidential decisions, protest movements, and some of the most important places in Cold War history. Welcome to our 7-day Cold War travel package, where the temperature isn't hot, but the politics definitely were. Let's get started. Our journey begins in Independence, Missouri, at the Harry S. Truman Presidential Library. After World War II, the United States and Soviet Union emerged as the world's two greatest superpowers. But instead of celebrating victory together, they immediately began to distrust each other. This was mainly due to the different political systems, where in the US it was a democratic system, while Soviet Union favored communism. Inside the Truman Library, you will explore interactive Cold War exhibits that explain how containment became the foundation of US foreign policy. Containment was not destroying communism everywhere, but stopping it from spreading any further. Not only that, but you can also see real presidential documents, watch archived news clips, and even try your hand at those decision making stations where you can choose how to respond to early Cold War crises. Which sounds pretty easy until you realize the fact that these decisions were real, and a wrong decision could have easily altered history and even started a third world war. Now, after a full day of exploring, you can unwind with dinner at V's Italian Ristorante, a popular local restaurant for classic Italian dishes and a relaxed atmosphere, perfect for reflecting on the start of the Cold War. And finally, you can stay overnight at the Stony Creek Hotel in Kansas City, a lodge style hotel with comfortable rooms, quiet surroundings, and a historic Midwest feel, setting the tone for a serious but immense immersive trip. The following day, you will hitch a ride to New York City, home of the United Nations headquarters, one of the most diplomatic spaces of the Cold War. During the Cold War, the UN became a global stage where US and Soviet Union confronted each other through speeches, resolutions, and intense debates, rather than direct war as in the past. On October 24th, 1945, 50 nations at the San Francisco Conference agreed to replace the useless League of Nations and create a force capable of preventing major conflicts. Even now, the UN's goal is still to maintain international peace and security. At this stop, visitors can engage in guided tours, walk through assembly halls and council chambers where major Cold War discussions took place. The several exhibits explain how the US and Soviet Union used speeches and propaganda tactics to influence global opinion to favor themselves. There are also multiple displays about nuclear preparedness and the fear people had about for defense planning, showing how the fear of nuclear conflict affected both diplomacy and daily life. Fun fact, in 2002, Germany gifted the UN a section of the Berlin Wall, and now it's painted with figures lying on display in the Northern Garden, serving as a symbol of freedom and barrier-less world. This day is also quite special because we have a esteemed guest joining us today, John Louis Gaddis, who is a prominent historian who explains how the Cold War was less about constant fighting and more about strategy, perception, and restraint. He emphasizes that diplomacy, not just weapons, kept the conflict from turning into World War II. His speeches will help visitors understand why the UN matters so much, even when agreements were difficult or rather rarely happened. That evening, you can enjoy dinner at another Italian restaurant called Carmine's, which is a famous New York restaurant known for its large, shareable Italian-sized meals, reinforcing the idea of discussion and debate over food. And finally, guests will stay at the Millennium Downtown New York Hotel, which offers modern rooms, skyline views, and proximity to major landmarks, placing visitors in a zone of comfort, preparing them for the next few days to come.
On day 3, we traveled to Gettysburg visiting Dwight D. Eisenhower's home. Eisenhower, who was a former World War II general, and he brings his first-hand knowledge of war into his presidency. He continues containment but warns Americans about the growing influence of the military-industrial complex, the close relationship between defense spending, weapons manufacturers, and politics. While touring the house, you'll walk through preserved offices and meeting rooms, join Ranger-led talks, and watch short strategy briefings that explain how Cold War planning actually worked out behind the scenes. He basically cautions that permanent military buildup can become too powerful if no one keeps it in check. This helps explain how the Cold War wasn't just about fighting enemies. It also changed how the United States economy and government spending worked. Over here, all travelers and guests will dine at the historic Dobbin House Tavern, where colonial-style dining connects the Cold War to earlier American conflicts. And over here, overnight stay at the Wyndham Gettysburg, offering modern comfort near historic sites, blending past and present. And on day 4, it focuses on Cold War technology and military power at the National Museum of United States Air Force in Dayton, Ohio. Planes, bombers, missiles, reconnaissance aircraft, and are all built in case of another world war. You can walk right under actual Cold War bombers, step into cockpit simulators, and try flight simulator stations and see reconnaissance technology up close. It's the closest you can get to Cold War air strategy without needing clearance. Along with that, this is where the concept of mutually assured destruction becomes real, because both sides build weapons and were not to be used them, but to prevent the other from striking first. Dinner takes place at the Pine Club, a legendary Dayton steakhouse popular with military officers and locals alike. The night is spent at Marriott at the University of Dayton, offering comfort and proximity to the museum. On day 5 is in Dallas, and the 6th floor museum at the Dealey Plaza focuses on President John F. Kennedy and the Cold War era. While moving through the exhibits, guests examine primary sources, listening to recordings and different speeches, and along with that, watching crisis timeline videos and analyzing real communications from major Cold War moments. The section also focuses on Cold War brinkmanship, pushing dangerous situations to the edge, to force the other side to back down. The biggest example during this time was the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the United States and the Soviet Union came very close to a nuclear conflict. And interactive displays will also allow you the day-by-day decisions of these leaders and how it made an impact in the world. On day 5, travelers will dine at Ellen's Southern Kitchen, serving classic Texas comfort food. Guests stay at the Adolphus Hotel, a historic luxury hotel that reflects the era's political importance.
Now we go to San Francisco, California, and the Cold War story shifts from government buildings to public protest. Haight-Ashbury becomes known for counterculture movements and anti-war activism, especially during the Vietnam War. Many visitors walked protest landmark routes, viewed preserved posters and newspapers, listened to recorded protest speeches and music, and explored exhibits on student and veteran activism. Entire communities organized against the Vietnam War, showing how Cold War decisions overseas created political and social conflict inside the United States. Remember, Cold War policy didn't just affect foreign relations, it also divided people at home. Here, on this stop, we are joining historian Mary L. Dudziak, who explains how Cold War policies influenced civil rights activism, student protest, and public trust in government. She emphasizes that the Cold War wasn't just fought abroad, it was experienced daily by Americans. On this day, dinner is at the restaurant The Stinking Rose, a famous San Francisco restaurant known for bold flavors and a lively atmosphere. Guests stay at Hotel Zephyr, overlooking the waterfront and offering modern, vibrant accommodations. The final stop is Los Alamos, where nuclear science became central to Cold War power and victory. At the Bradbury Science Museum and Manhattan Project sites, you can explore lab replicas, interactive atomic models, scientist interviews, and nuclear research exhibits that explain how the technology works in a safe, non-exploding way. You'll learn how atomic research leads to nuclear weapons development and the long-term global consequences. Nuclear technology becomes the foundation of Cold War military strategy, deterrence policy, and international negotiations. Science, politics, and military planning all connect here. It's one of the most serious stops on the tour because it shows how scientific breakthroughs can change global history permanently. Today, dinner will be at the Blue Window Bistro, which offers local New Mexican cuisine. The tour concludes with an overnight stay at the Hotel Santa Fe, blending cultural heritage with modern comfort. To conclude, this isn't just a vacation to escape reality, it's a journey to understand it. 7 days, 7 locations, 2 modern historians, and a deeper understanding of the Cold War, from presidents to protesters, from diplomacy to nuclear science. Thank you.